Hello friends, welcome to One Book. Today we're exploring key insights about productivity and personal growth. Picture this, you open your laptop at 9 a.m. Calendar set. To-do list ready. The day is packed. From the outside, someone would say, wow, what a disciplined person. But when evening comes and the day ends, there's a strange emptiness inside. You were very busy, but nothing truly significant was accomplished. This is where a powerful idea becomes clear: the problem isn't time. The problem is attention. We often measure productivity by hours. Today I worked 8 hours. Today I studied 10 hours. We think the more time we give, the more results we'll get. But the truth is, everyone has the same amount of time, 24 hours. The difference comes from where our attention was during those hours. You're sitting at your desk, but your mind is on Instagram, on messages, lost in random thoughts. Outwardly, time appears managed. Internally, attention is completely fragmented. Attention means your mental energy, your focus, your awareness, your presence. Time is uncontrollable, it keeps moving whether you want it to or not. An hour will pass in an hour regardless. But attention is within your control. You can decide what you'll be fully present for right now. This is the biggest shift: instead of managing time, manage attention. Imagine you spend 8 hours on a task, but the truly productive work is only 2 hours. What happened to the other 6 hours? Checking notifications, refreshing email, picking up your phone, getting up for coffee, coming back, talking to someone. You gave the time, but attention kept breaking. Deep work never happened. Deep work means work where your entire mind is focused on one task, without distraction, without interruption. We've made productivity too superficial. Looking busy equals being productive. Filling the calendar equals being serious. But real productivity is quiet. No drama, no show. Just you and your work. When attention is fully invested, extraordinary results come even in less time. And when there's no attention, even a whole day gets wasted. This is what the concept teaches: don't count hours, count attention units. Ask yourself, how many times today did I truly give my full focus to one task? Even half an hour with full attention is more powerful than 3 hours of distracted work. The problem is we don't understand attention's value. We think attention is unlimited. But actually, attention is a limited resource, like a battery. As soon as we wake up, we start leaking attention. Pick up the phone, check notifications, read news, scroll through content. Without producing anything, without creating anything, we've given our fresh mental energy to others. Then when we sit down for important work during the day, our mind is tired. We say, I'm not in the mood today, can't focus. Actually, focus didn't run out, you spent it in the wrong place. Managing attention doesn't mean working every minute. It means when you work, do it with complete honesty. Single tasking, one task at a time. Multitasking is an illusion. The brain cannot deeply focus on 2 things simultaneously. It just switches quickly, and energy is wasted with each switch. When you start understanding attention, you realize the most valuable thing isn't time but focus. You can be physically present in a meeting but mentally absent. Time given, attention not given. Result, 0 impact. But if you're fully present in even a 15-minute conversation, the connection becomes deep. This thinking also saves you from guilt. We often blame ourselves: I'm lazy, I'm not disciplined. But many times, the problem isn't discipline. The problem is the attention environment. Distractions everywhere: phone, apps, notifications, noise. Maintaining focus in such an environment is a skill, not natural talent. The first step in managing attention is awareness. Observe where your attention goes, without judgment. Just notice. You'll see that every 5 to 10 minutes, your hand automatically reaches for the phone. This is habit, addiction. Until you see it, you won't change it. The second step is intention. Before starting work, be clear, what am I about to do and for how long? For example, for the next 30 minutes, I'll only write, nothing else. Set a timer. This small commitment anchors attention. The third step is environment design. Environment is more powerful than willpower. Silence your phone. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. If distractions are in front of you, attention will go there. This is human nature. Rather than blaming yourself, it's better to change the system. Gradually, you'll notice the difference. Work that used to take all day starts happening in less time. And the best part, free time feels guilt-free, because when you worked, you truly worked, you gave full attention. Now rest is deserved. Manage attention, not time, is a mindset shift. It teaches you to focus on quality, not quantity. It transforms you from busy to effective. You do less work, but meaningful work. The key question to keep asking yourself, where is my attention right now? If the answer matches your goals, you're in the right direction. If not, gently bring it back. Again and again, without frustration. Attention isn't a switch, it's a muscle. It gets stronger with practice. When you learn to manage attention, time starts managing itself. And then productivity is no longer a struggle but becomes flow. We all have a secret dream somewhere in our minds, that life will change in one stroke. Wake up one day and everything is set. Body fit, money stable, confidence high, life sorted. Videos and content culture also show this: overnight success, life changed in 30 days, mindset transformed in 60 days. But the truth is a bit boring, and that truth is also the most powerful: big changes don't happen overnight. Small daily improvements are what truly transform lives. 0.1% daily improvement sounds very small. So small that the mind says, what will this even do? Reading one page, writing one sentence, doing one push-up, it all seems almost nothing. The ego doesn't get excitement from this. There's no drama. But this is where compound interest magic begins. Just like there's compound interest in money, there's compound interest in habits. The difference is that results appear slowly. The problem is we underestimate consistency and overestimate intensity. We think if we don't work out 3 hours daily, there's no benefit. If we don't study 2 hours daily, it's worthless. Then one day, we get very enthusiastic, start everything, and burn out within days. Then guilt, then self-doubt, then giving up everything. This is the trap of hustle culture. The 0.1% rule breaks this cycle. It takes you out of pressure. It says, just be a little better today than yesterday. Read one page today, even if you don't feel like it. Take one small action today. It's so easy that the mind can't make excuses. And that's its strength. Imagine you read just 10 minutes daily. Sounds very little. But 10 minutes daily means approximately 60 hours per year. 60 hours of focused reading can take anyone from beginner to intermediate level. But we feel 10 minutes is too small, so we ignore it. We stay in waiting mode: when I have time, I'll start. But time is never perfect. The biggest benefit of this rule is that it builds identity. You want to become a writer? Write one sentence daily. Just one. Gradually, you start seeing yourself as a writer because you write every day. Identity is built through action, not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. But habits quietly shape who you are. 0.1% improvement doesn't mean perfection. It means progress. Some days you'll only do the minimum, and some days more. But the chain shouldn't break. There's a famous idea: don't break the chain. When you do something small daily, an invisible chain forms. And the mind naturally wants that chain to stay intact. Burnout happens because we push beyond capacity. We think growth means suffering. The more pain, the more progress. But sustainable growth is boring. No applause, no instant reward. Just daily small effort. This is why most people quit midway, because results appear slow. But compound effect rewards patient people. The first 30 days, nothing special will show. Even at 60 days, maybe no big difference. But after 6 months, when you look back, you'll see a different person. And this change won't feel scary but natural, as if you were always like this. This rule also eliminates fear of failure. When the goal is small, the fear of failing is also small. Couldn't do one push-up. No tragedy. Do it tomorrow. But when the goal is very big, even one miss completely derails you. Then shame, then procrastination. We often plan for our future self, ignoring our present self. The 0.1% rule respects your present self. It accepts that starting from wherever you are today is okay. No comparison, no rush. Just the next tiny step. This rule also teaches patience. Today's world is about instant gratification. Immediate likes, immediate views, immediate results. But real growth is slow. This rule trains you for long-term thinking. You focus on the process, not the outcome. And ironically, when you let go of the outcome, that's when the outcome arrives. They say, small hinges swing big doors. Small habits bring big changes. One page, one sentence, one push-up, these actions are so small they don't scare you. And that's why you can do them long-term. Gradually, your confidence grows too. You start trusting yourself because you did what you said you'd do. This trust doesn't come from motivational speeches. It comes from daily small actions. 0.1% daily improvement isn't a shortcut. It's the slow path. But it's the safest and surest path. No drama, but depth. No noise, but direction. If you follow it honestly, within a few years, your life quietly transforms. And the best part, you don't need to hustle. You just become a little better each day, without pressure, without burnout. Just consistency, patience, and trust. This is real growth. Almost every person struggles with procrastination. The task is right there. You know it's important. You need to do it. Yet we keep postponing it. From the outside, it looks like we're lazy. Lack of discipline. Weak willpower. And first, we label ourselves, I'm lazy. I can't do anything. But this is the biggest misunderstanding. Procrastination isn't laziness. Procrastination is emotion. The truth is, you're not running from the work. You're running from the feeling associated with that work. The brain avoids not the task, but the discomfort connected to it. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, boredom, confusion, anxiety, these emotions are so uncomfortable that the brain naturally seeks an escape route. And that escape route is often, phone, delay, social media, sleep, random tasks. Imagine you need to write an important email. Technically, there's no difficulty. Yet you're delaying. Why? Because fear is attached to that email. What if the reply is wrong? What if they judge me? What if I look stupid? The brain wants to avoid immediate pain, so it tells you, let's watch something first. We'll do it later. This isn't laziness. This is emotional self-protection. We misunderstand the brain. The brain's job isn't to make you successful. Its job is to keep you safe. Safe means away from emotional pain. Whenever a task becomes an emotional threat, the brain sounds an alarm. Anxiety comes, resistance comes, and we think, I'm not in the mood today. It's not mood, it's fear. So when we try to force ourselves, just sit down and do it, even more resistance comes from within. It's like yelling at a scared child, "Don't be afraid." Fear doesn't decrease, it increases. Procrastination is handled not through force, but through understanding. The first step is acknowledgement. Accept that yes, this task feels scary, or boring, or creates anxiety, without judging yourself. As soon as you name the emotion, its intensity reduces a bit. They say, name it to tame it. Recognizing the emotion is half the solution. The second step is emotion regulation, not suppression. This doesn't mean the fear disappears, but that you can start work even with the fear. Take a deep breath. Relax the body. Tell yourself, okay, there's fear. Still, I can take a small step. Don't see emotion as the enemy, see it as a signal. Procrastination also increases because we make tasks too big. Entire project, entire chapter, entire workout. The brain gets scared seeing such a large load. Pain response activates. The solution is, start small. So small that the brain says, I can at least do this. For example, if you need to study, don't set the goal as, study for 2 hours. Just set the goal, open the book for 5 minutes. Just open it. Reading is optional. Sounds funny, but this trick works because the brain doesn't see pain. And once you start, inertia breaks. This rule applies everywhere. Need to write? Just write 1 sentence. Need to go to the gym? Just put on your shoes. Need to start a business? Just write 1 small research point. This small start bypasses the brain's pain response. The brain thinks, oh, it's just this much. Okay. Gradually, the emotion settles. Anxiety decreases, and you can get into flow. But flow shouldn't be the goal. Starting should be the goal, because flow always comes after starting, not before. Another big reason for procrastination is perfectionism. We think, either do it perfectly or don't do it. This thinking creates anxiety. If it's not perfect, the brain goes back into avoidance mode. Here too, the solution is the same, imperfect action. Badly done is better than perfectly planned. When you procrastinate repeatedly, self-trust breaks. You start seeing yourself as unreliable. And this belief creates even more procrastination. A vicious cycle forms. There's only one way to break it, small promises and keeping them. So small you can't fail. Understanding procrastination also means being a bit gentler with yourself. Harsh self-talk doesn't work. Saying, I'm worthless, increases anxiety, not motivation. But when you tell yourself, okay, this is difficult, I understand, the nervous system calms down. A calm brain makes better decisions. It's also important to understand that procrastination never completely disappears. It's part of human nature. The goal isn't to never procrastinate. The goal is to recognize procrastination quickly and gently redirect. When you see procrastination as an emotion, compassion arises within you, for yourself and for others. You're not lazy, you're human. And humans are driven by emotion, not logic. Working from this perspective becomes easier. You stop fighting yourself. And when the fight ends, energy is saved. That same energy gradually goes into the work. Finally, just remember this. Next time you're postponing work, don't ask yourself, why don't I have discipline? Instead ask, what emotion am I avoiding? The answer will be there, and that's where real change begins. We've heard a line since childhood, live like you'll die tomorrow. This line sounds very powerful. Movies, motivational content, quotes everywhere give this message, life is short, enjoy now, take risks now, achieve everything now. But if you look deeply, there's a hidden problem with this advice. If you truly believe you'll die tomorrow, how will your decisions be? Hasty, panicked, short-term. Here's where a different thinking emerges, live like you're immortal. At first, this idea seems strange. Immortal means eternal. If I assume I'll live very long, will I become lazy? Will I start procrastinating? But actually, the effect is opposite. When you see yourself as immortal, patience enters you. You don't panic quickly. You start thinking long-term. The "live like you'll die tomorrow" mindset creates anxiety. Everything feels urgent. If I don't do it now in my career, I'll fall behind. If I don't earn money now, the opportunity will pass. In relationships, if I don't fix everything now, it'll all end. The mind stays in constant hurry, and in hurry, wrong decisions often happen. Today's world is already very fast. Social media shows daily that someone became wealthy at 22, someone sold their startup at 25, someone's traveling abroad, someone's living the dream life. If you're walking with the "die tomorrow" mindset, seeing all this multiplies anxiety. It feels like time is running out and you're being left behind. Now imagine you accept that you have plenty of time, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. Suddenly, pressure reduces. You think, if it takes me even 10 years to master a skill, that's okay. This thinking calms you. A calm mind makes better choices. The immortal mindset leads you toward long-term investments, skills, relationships, health, character. These things aren't built overnight. They need time. When you think like an immortal, you stop looking for shortcuts. You learn to trust the process. Imagine you're learning a skill: writing, coding, speaking, business. The "die tomorrow" mindset says, learn quickly, monetize quickly. Result: shallow learning, frustration, burnout. But the immortal mindset says, learn slowly, learn deeply. You'll focus on fundamentals. You'll have faith that if not today, results will come tomorrow. This mindset also makes a difference in relationships. When you try to get things quickly, validation, attention, love, you become impatient. You get upset over small things. But when you think long-term, you learn to listen, to understand. You know that strong relationships are built over years, not days. A big benefit of the immortal mindset is that it calms the "I'm falling behind" anxiety. The truth is, life isn't a race. There's no finish line where everyone must arrive together. But when we bind ourselves to limited time, comparison becomes unavoidable. When you live like an immortal, you accept your pace. You understand that every person's timeline is different. Someone starts early, someone late. Someone peaks quickly, someone later. The long life perspective saves you from jealousy. This mindset doesn't mean you become complacent or abandon goals. It means separating urgency from panic. You remain disciplined but not desperate. You work hard, but from vision, not fear. The immortal mindset teaches patience. Patience is an underrated superpower. Most people don't fail because they're not capable, but because they can't wait. They quit too early. They switch paths too fast. They want fast rewards. But those who stay see compound growth. Think about trees. No big tree is built overnight. For years, it builds roots underground. From above, it seems nothing's happening. But those same roots later keep it standing during storms. The immortal mindset gives you permission to build roots. When you accept you have time, you start enjoying learning. You don't fear mistakes because mistakes don't feel life-ending. They feel like learning steps. Anxiety decreases. Curiosity increases. Another interesting thing, the immortal mindset also increases generosity. When you feel time is limited, you start hoarding opportunities, credit, attention. But when you feel time is plenty, you can share. You can help, you can mentor. You don't feel threatened. This mindset is also very healthy for mental health. Constant rush overloads the nervous system. But long-term thinking signals the nervous system, we are safe. A safe brain is creative, not reactive. Today's hustle culture says, grind now, live later. The immortal mindset says, build now, live along the way. You live the journey too, not just wait for the destination. This idea is very simple but deeply freeing. When you remove the pressure from yourself that, I need everything now, clarity comes. You can decide what's truly important and what's just noise. Living like you're immortal doesn't mean ignoring death. It means you stop making decisions from fear. You shift from scarcity to abundance, from time scarcity to time abundance. When you adopt this mindset, life becomes a bit slower but deeper. You don't go fast, you go far. And often, going far is the real victory. In the end, just understand this: if you live assuming you're immortal, you live not in panic but in purpose. And a life lived with purpose, whether long or short, is always meaningful. Today's world is filled with competition. From school to job, from business to social media, races are happening everywhere. Who's ahead, who's behind, who has more followers, whose income is higher, whose lifestyle looks better. Whether we want it or not, comparison has become part of daily life. But this is where a silent problem begins. Competition motivates us less and makes us anxious more. This is where the emphasis is: real growth comes not from competition but from creation. Competition emerges from a scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset means this belief: resources are limited. If someone else moves ahead, something becomes less for me. If someone else gets attention, I won't get it. This thinking creates fear in the mind. Fear brings jealousy. Jealousy brings comparison. And comparison brings paralysis. We start watching others so much that we don't have energy left to do anything ourselves. When you're in competition mode, your focus isn't on your work but on others' work. You don't think, what can I create? You think, what are they doing? Their content, their strategy, their success. And the more you watch, the more overwhelmed you feel. Then the mind says, so many people are already doing it, what new will I do? And this is where procrastination begins. Creation is the completely opposite mindset. Creation comes from abundance. When you create, you don't think about how crowded the market is. You think, what value can I give? Whether content, product, service, or just helping someone, creation means adding something new to the world. When you create, you're in your lane. And in your lane, there's no competition. Competition only exists when you try to enter someone else's lane. Every person's perspective, experience, and voice is different. Even if the topic is the same, the approach will be different. This uniqueness becomes your strength. Social media has intensified competition. Every scroll shows someone ahead of you. But this is an illusion. You're only seeing highlights, not struggles. And when you compare yourself to these highlights, you're making an unfair comparison. This breaks confidence. The advice is, stop watching others. You can't ignore completely, but don't obsess. Obsession eats your creative energy. Creativity needs space, needs silence. When the mind is calm, that's when original ideas come. The biggest benefit of creation is that it gives you purpose. When you compete, the goal is to win. But winning is relative. You won today, tomorrow someone else moved ahead. There's no end. But in creation, the goal is to contribute. Contribution gives you internal satisfaction. Imagine you're creating content. Competition mindset says, their views are more, mine are less, why? Creation mindset says, did even one person benefit from what I said? This small shift turns anxiety into meaning. When you create, you're in control. In competition, you're always in reaction mode. What will they do? What will they say? What's the market trend? In creation, you're proactive. You decide what you'll build, how you'll build it. Another big thing, competition creates short-term thinking. Quick wins, fast results. Creation teaches long-term thinking. You build slowly, audience, skill, trust. All this compounds. Creation makes you focus on learning. You want to create a little better every day. You take feedback, you improve. In competition, feedback feels like an attack on ego. In creation, feedback becomes a tool for growth. This mindset also reduces procrastination. When you fear others, starting feels scary. What will people say? Will anyone even watch? But when you decide to create, you detach from results. Now you just enjoy the process. Process focus weakens fear. The concept also says, when you create, you naturally attract the right people, the right opportunities. You don't have to chase. Creation is a signal that you can give value. Value always creates demand. Competition leads you to copy. Creation leads you to innovate. Copying has short-term comfort. Innovation has long-term freedom. When you copy, you're always behind someone. When you create, people come behind you. This mindset applies to every area of life. In career, don't compare with others' jobs. Build your skill. In relationships, don't be jealous of others' relationships. Nurture your own. In money, don't watch others' income. Increase your value. Create, don't compete doesn't mean you ignore reality. It means you keep focus in the right place. Comparison can give information, but obsession is poison. When you make creation a habit, confidence grows automatically because you're giving daily proof that you can build something. Confidence doesn't come from likes. It comes from creation. Gradually, you'll notice anxiety is decreasing. Procrastination is decreasing. Because now you're not in a race. You're on a journey, your journey. Finally, just remember this, there's no lack of space in the world. There's a lack of originality. When you create, you make your own space. There's no competition there. Just your work and its impact. In today's world, there's no shortage of skills. Every few months, some new software, new tool, new platform arrives. On video platforms and social media, the message everywhere is, learn this skill, your future will be secure. Take this course, job guaranteed. We also keep running in fear. Sometimes coding, sometimes design, sometimes trying to become an expert in some specific app. But the problem is, most trendy skills have an expiry date. What's hot today can become outdated in 2 to 3 years. This is where very deep but practical advice comes. Instead of chasing niche skills, master universal skills. Universal skills are skills that work in every career, remain relevant in every era, and don't become useless even after technology changes. Tools keep changing, platforms keep changing, but human nature doesn't change. Communication, decision-making, money handling, influence, these have been important for centuries and will remain so. These are called force multipliers, skills that increase the power of all your other skills. Think if you're in any field, student, employee, freelancer, business owner, creator. Does it make a difference whether you know how to write or not? A huge difference. Writing isn't just for writing books. Writing means clear thinking. When you learn to write, you learn to structure your thoughts. Writing emails, creating proposals, conveying messages, explaining ideas, this is all writing. The person who can write clearly can also think clearly. Writing is a silent superpower. Most people think speaking is more important. But actually, the world runs on emails, messages, documents, and content. A well-written email can open opportunities, and a poorly written email can close that same opportunity. Learning to write is a slow process. But once you get it, it becomes a lifetime asset. The second universal skill is persuasion. People often confuse persuasion with manipulation, but that's not true. Persuasion means presenting your point in a way that the other person can understand and accept. You do persuasion daily, in interviews, in sales, in relationships, even in motivating yourself. If you can't sell your idea, your ability becomes useless. The world doesn't reward ability. The world rewards perceived value. Persuasion teaches you to show that value. This skill gets you heard in meetings, makes you strong in negotiations, and makes you effective in leadership. The third universal skill is psychology, understanding human behavior. What do people think? Why do they react? What do they fear? What motivates them? No matter how advanced technology becomes, decisions are still made by humans. And humans are driven by emotions, not logic. When you understand psychology, you start judging people less and understanding them more. Workplace politics become clearer. Empathy increases in relationships. Clarity comes in marketing. You begin to know what emotion is behind what people say. This skill makes you socially intelligent. The fourth universal skill is personal finance. This skill is mostly never taught. We focus on earning money, but not on managing money. Result, despite good income, there's stress, debt, and insecurity. Personal finance doesn't just mean investing. It means understanding spending, building saving habits, dealing with debt, doing long-term planning. When your money life is sorted, mental space becomes free. You can take better risks. You make better decisions. Financial stress is creativity's biggest enemy. So friends, this was our book summary today. Please let me know in the comments how you liked it. And thank you for listening to the summary till the end.